I would love to welcome Sherrod to go into a deep threat briefing with you all.
Thank you so much, Vasu. And I would like all of you to welcome my co-presenter today, Crane Hasselt, Principal Security Researcher here at Microsoft. I want some energy. Come on. Thank you. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. So every year, threats move faster. We all know that. We're in security. Threat actors have new techniques, new levels of sophistication. Really, since the beginning of the concept of security, this trend hasn't slowed down. The threat landscape is an interconnected ecosystem. I talk a lot about the ecosystem of the threat landscape as opposed to just discrete threat actor groups. It's not just a technique, it's not just one group, it's this entire cottage industry of interconnected capabilities. Crime has become operationalized at scale. These threat actors are professional, they use professional tools, and today, Crane and I are going to look into that threat landscape to help level set for all of you with the conversations that you're going to have and everything that you're going to see from experts this week at Ignite. So let's get started by adding a little bit of context to what the threat landscape really looks like. At Microsoft, our intelligence represents a global footprint. We have billions of users, millions of organizations, and an extensive network of partners. Of course, it's also driven by the more than 100 trillion signals that we analyze at Microsoft every day. Our threat intelligence teams work across these massive data sets and create insights into what threat actors are doing. Our unique visibility across endpoint, cloud, email, identity, IoT, and more gives us a really unparalleled view into the threats and what those look like. We operate the largest threat intelligence signal collection capability in the world. We have consumer environments, enterprise environments, 200 plus services, 190 countries, and over 1 billion endpoints. But it's not just the scale. We have very specialized teams that focus on intelligence analysis, threat hunting, incident response, research, and of course, you may have heard about our digital crimes unit. All of these teams work together to track threat actors, reverse engineer malware, and do takedowns on infrastructure to inform our threat intelligence and help program all of our AI models. So let's take a look back at the past year. We've continued to see threat actors accelerate their development, bring in new and novel techniques, and of course, for all of you who are defenders, this creates new challenges that you might not have ever seen before. Those daily threats typically have remained the same, though. These are opportunistic attacks by threat actors, and typically, they're targeting known security gaps. The users are at risk, and the most observed attacks that we have seen have been hitting the United States, the United Kingdom, Israel, and Germany. We'll give it over to Crane now to talk a little bit about the cybercrime economy.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sherrod. And I'm super excited to be here today. It's my very first Ignite, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. Really wanted to sort of level set on what the cybercrime economy looks like today. One of the things that I love being a researcher at Microsoft is really good to see how holistic the overall cybercrime ecosystem is from beginning to end. And what's really interesting is that in recent years, that ecosystem has become much more complex, much more sophisticated, but some things have really stayed the same. As it has been for decades, social engineering still drives most of the attacks that we see today. What's really interesting is the same tactics that are used by threat actors today in phishing campaigns are the exact same techniques that have been used for literally thousands of years since human beings have been communicating with each other. The same tactics are being used that have been used to con people, to manipulate people. The only difference is now a computer is what's being used to do it. We'll also see, as we go through this, as we'll see throughout this rest of this presentation, that AI is obviously driving a lot of these attacks to new levels. And then information has really become the crown jewel of what a lot of cyber threat actors are looking for today, even in the malware landscape, which has historically been focused on things like disruption or direct financial compromise. That has also pivoted to data collection, which has info stealers, information stealers, becoming more prolific and widespread. So as I just mentioned, information has really become the crown jewel for most cyber threat actors. 80% of the incident response engagements that Microsoft conducted in the past year have involved some sort of data collection. And threat actors have really recognized the overall value of information. Things like a single user's credentials can be used in so many different ways, right? So they can be used to send additional follow-up phishing attacks that are coming from a legitimate, trusted account. They can be used to pivot to other cloud-based applications to access sensitive information. They can be used in password reuse attacks to access external accounts. And then they can also be used for intelligence collection from the compromised account to then to target third parties and things like business email compromise attacks. And of course, nation-state actors, they love the information as well for things like espionage campaigns. So driving a lot of what we see today in the cybercrime ecosystem is really the as-a-service cybercrime economy. Initial access brokers take credentials that are compromised in things like basic phishing campaigns and offer them to sale for cybercriminals to use in a variety of different ways to launch things like extortion or ransomware attacks. Phishing-as-a-service providers offer full-service platforms that provide cybercriminals with the infrastructure, replica phishing sites, or success metrics that they can use to make their attacks much more scalable and efficient. And malware-as-a-service providers also offer more modular exploits that can turn a single piece of malware into a Swiss Army knife that can then be used in a number of different ways to accomplish a number of different goals. And this is why Microsoft has really intensified our focus on disrupting a lot of these cybercrime-as-a-service platforms through a combination of legal, technical, and intelligence-driven actions. For example, this year, Microsoft led takedown operations against LumaStealer, which is a prolific info stealer malware, as well as Raccoon 0365, which is one of the leading phishing-as-a-service providers. And of course, the cybercrime ecosystem as a whole has become much more sophisticated with the emergence of AI, which cybercriminals have used to increase the overall efficiency and effectiveness of their attacks. AI-enhanced phishing emails that ended up reaching their target had a 54% click-through rate, which is about 4.5 times higher than the effectiveness rate for non-enhanced phishing messages. But of course, that success rate is only applicable if an email hits its target. AI can help cybercriminals create more realistic-looking lures. It can increase the overall variability of malicious content. And it can also provide actors with feedback to help them hone their skills and become better cybercriminals. But what AI doesn't impact are a lot of the signals that we can actually use to detect these attacks. Such as the infrastructure that a phishing email is coming from, the context of a message, or other high-level behavioral characteristics, and prevent them from reaching their targets. So while AI certainly is a resource that cybercriminals can use to enhance some parts of their attacks, it's certainly not a silver bullet that's going to make defenders incapable of preventing these attacks. Now with that, I will pass it back to Sherrod, who will go back more into the AI landscape.
Does everyone love AI? Thanks, Crane. Let's talk about AI, which everyone does love. It really is helping us catch threat actors faster. But at the same time, it's teaching the threat actors new tricks. We are seeing AI malfunctions and adversarial threats collide. We're also seeing over-reliance on automation, creating new blind spots. Attackers know this, and they are able to feed systems with false data or crafted scenarios to make those AI systems trust the wrong data and provide inaccurate output. We're all defenders in this room, we're all security professionals, and we have to review the work of AI. We have to make sure that we're questioning the answers that are coming out and that we're building in oversight into our programs. Secure by design and secure by default doesn't mean anything if no one is checking output results. AI systems are also leaking information from training data to prompts. Threat actors are finding new ways to extract the data and information that they really shouldn't be able to see. This means that we need tighter data governance, we need to limit access, encrypt everything, and then test your own AI systems to make sure that they are providing accurate and authentic results. Then there's agency. Has anyone heard of Agentic AI? New thing? We build AI to act for us, but threat actors can manipulate that as well. They can change a signal, they can bias a data set, they can make the systems work for them instead of working for all of us. So governance and transparency aren't just things that we say. Governance and transparency really are part of our defense mechanisms. So we're watching AI amplify those classics. Raise your hand if you love the security basics. Oh, everyone was supposed to raise their hand. Phishing, credential theft, malware, deepfakes. We've seen all of these things before, but AI is enabling threat actors to do them faster, cleaner, and make them harder to spot. The biggest change isn't what they're doing as much as how automated it is, how adaptive it is, and how customized threat actors can be now leveraging AI to scale. It can essentially provide doing the work of an entire ransomware crew 24/7, but it doesn't need sleep and it doesn't have any code of ethics. So the targets, they're the same: data, identity, trust. But AI is really shortening the gap between the intent and the impact that we see. Attackers can scale operations that used to take weeks or months down to minutes and seconds. And that's why all of us as defenders have to move just as fast. We cannot outwork automation, but hopefully we can outthink it, we can out-engineer it. So that means AI-assisted threat detection, authenticated communications, and making sure that every employee understands how to spot these manipulations before they land. Something further is that AI is transforming how we defend. Obviously, pulling AI into defenders' tool sets is very, very important. We're able to do things like automate response and containment, cutting time from detection to action down to seconds when we didn't have that luxury before. AI is also finding what we miss. There's gaps in detections, patterns that don't look quite right. AI is really good at finding those and alerting to those for human defenders that can then go action on them directly. At Microsoft, we're using AI to protect identity systems, cloud workloads, and even the AI agents themselves. Every new layer of intelligence becomes another surface that needs defending. So just as threat actors are using AI to augment their attacks, security teams are using it to augment their defenses. So AI does give us an incredible capability. It also expands our attack surfaces in every direction. So that means that we have to start with defense before those models are trained. We have to prepare by setting policies, training teams, and applying zero trust from day one. We have to discover what AI is running in our environment, spotting those shadow AI capabilities, tracking where data is being used, where data is being copied, and if that data is being used to train AI models that we might not have authorized in our environment. Finally, we want to govern things. We need to do audits on activity, enforce the policies, and make sure that we stay aligned with regulations so that we are moving as fast as tech is moving. Resilience isn't built on chance, it's built by choice. And all of us have to make that choice to be defenders in the new AI world. So if you want more stats, information, more of what we shared here, please do click on this QR code. I promise it is safe. Download the 2025 Microsoft Digital Defense Report. Thank you so much. Thank you, Crane.